K-pop has given us some of the biggest names in music: BTS, Stray Kids, Blackpink, but bubbling just beneath the surface are top tier groups with global ambition ready to take the main stage. One of those groups, TFN, also known as T1419, or well, that's what they used to be called before they changed the name. What's up guys, my name's Cameron. If you're new here, I'm on a discoverer to find out everything I can about Asian pop. It's me and the world of K-pop. I should really change this channel name from Not So Clueless to Cameron Discovers K-pop, but I'm not going to do that. So yeah, but if that sounds like something you like, hit that subscribe button, check out some of the previous videos I've done and check out some of the previous videos that I've got coming. Today's discoverer is TFN. It is one that a few people have mentioned in my comments, not massively, but enough to get me noticing, and as I'm researching other bands and groups, it is a name that pops up from time to time. So, although they might not be as big as some of the groups that we talk about on this channel, they still, I reckon, deserve their own video. So I researched them, and that is what we're going to talk about today, because hey, you might not know who they are, and you will do after this video. So this is TFN. With their unique sound, bold concepts, and an international approach right from their debut, TFN has been steadily growing their fan base worldwide. First things first, let's talk about the name. When TFN first debuted, they was called T1419. It isn't just a random string of letters and numbers. What it actually stands for is teenagers who met at the ages of 14 and 19. The idea is that they represent youth, growth, and the experiences of all kind of the ages of teenagers coming together to chase the dream. That's what it is. T14, 19. Teenagers who are 14 to teenagers who are 19, which has to be, sorry if you're a massive fan of these, one of the worst names in not just K-pop music history, but global music history. It is a terrible name. It is so, it does not roll off the tongue. What you listening to? T1419. Who's that? T1419. It sounds terrible. I am so I can understand why they changed their name, which they did. They now go as TFN, which is a way better name. The group officially debuted in January 2021 under MLD Entertainment, which is the same company behind Momoland. There are 9 members in total, and if there's one thing that sets TFN apart, it's their mix of Korean and Japanese members, giving a strong kind of cross-cultural appeal. We're seeing this a lot these days in Asian pop as a whole. Some of the most popular bands are the ones who are the most diverse, the ones that can cross cultures, much like TFN. Having that Japanese side and that Korean side brings a diverse fan base to the table as soon as you debut. These are all the members right here. Together they cover a wide range of skills: rap, vocal, dance and visuals. And just like the name suggests, most of them were in their teens when they first started, making their growth story easy for young fans to connect with. It's a young group made of young members, made for young people. As mentioned before, they officially debuted in 2021. That was January the 11th with this track here. Am I going to try and pronounce it, or is it just a mismatched jumble of letters? Let's go for it. We've got ASURABALBALTA. 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 I know, my pronunciation skills of both Korean names and Filipino names and the places is getting way better, right? ASURABALBALTA. I feel like I've almost got that one spot on first time round. Let me know in the comments though if I've pronounced it wrong, of course. When I first saw that name, I thought, what in the world? You've got a group with what has to be the worst name in history, and you've got a song with the worst song name in history. All together, it's just not looking great for what is now TFN. But I understand it matches the group's bold, slightly kind of experimental style. It's a memorable title. Even if you can't pronounce it, you're gonna know it when you see it. The song itself leaned heavily into hip hop and trap influences. It had a high energy kind of like rap sections throughout and this intense choreography. It set the tone for what at the time was T1419 would be known for. Strong performances, youthful energy and a mix of Korean and Japanese culture. Right away they caught attention, not just in Korea but also internationally. Their debut showcase had over 300,000 viewers worldwide, showing just how global their appeal was from the very start. Since their debut, TFN has continued to experiment with their sound. Their debut single, Before Sunrise Part 1, introduced this kind of concept of telling a story over multiple releases. Part 1, you got Part 2, you got Part 3, much like myself. On this journey to discovery of Asian pop, I've done a lot of Part 1s and Part 2s. SB19, that's an ongoing thing in itself, so I understand why TFN did this, and I like the idea. They had follow-ups to that, such as Exit and Flex, which continued to showcase their energetic and youthful sound. They also released Japanese versions of all of their songs, catering directly to that Japanese fan base, which is unique for K-pop, because normally you get two types of K-pop groups. Type number one, who are made for Korea and who are made for the appeal of Korea. They speak Korean, they dress Korean, everything is about Korean culture. And the second type is the type that are set more for global domination, like your Blackpinks and your BTS, where they speak English and everything they do is kind of more globally appealing, or it's made for the Western world. What TFN was doing was making Korean pop music for a Japanese audience, which wasn't done before. So although the fan base was small, it was a strong fan base. Musically, just in case you've never heard them, TFN leans heavily into rap with bold production and fast-paced choreography. They've often been compared to groups like Stray Kids and NCT because their focus on performance-heavy music and because of this rap influence and this kind of grimy influence that they have. But they still keep that kind of unique, youth-centered storytelling to their brand. Let's be honest, when I do the thumbnail for this, I'm probably gonna put underneath it a picture of TFN, and it's probably gonna be either the worst name in K-pop history, or it's gonna be, are these the new Stray Kids or something, comparing them to Stray Kids. And the reason that I do that is, which you'll find on some of my other videos, is because it's who they're most likely. It's an easy way to understand them for people who probably know who Stray Kids are but don't know who TFN are. It's an easy comparison to make. If you're a fan of Stray Kids, you're probably going to enjoy TFN. Though they're not the same and they differ massively, they're still kind of in the same niche and they've got a good crossover of audiences. One of the biggest things to know about TFN is that they've had a global focus from day one. Unlike many K-pop groups who start by building a domestic fan base first, TFN were promoted simultaneously in Korea, Japan and even Latin America. They released Spanish language content, collaborated with influencers and leaned into international streaming platforms from day one. This is no accident. MLD Entertainment has openly said their goal was to make TFN a truly worldwide K-pop act, not just a Korean one. And even though they lean heavily into the Japanese audience, not just a Japanese one. So far, it's been working. Their fandom, which is called, here we go, another pronunciation time, Edelweiss, or Edelweiss. I'm going to say Edelweiss. Once again, let me know in the comments if I'm wrong on that, and I do apologise. But basically that fandom is spread out globally with an especially strong support in Latin America, which is surprising. Seems though they're this mix of Korean and Japanese. There's a huge Latin American fan base for them. So if you are a fan of TFN and you are from Latin America, let me know in the comments how you found out about them in the beginning, how you heard about them, and what made you become a fan, because I'm very interested in that. So that is TFN, that is who they are. That is a K-pop group that is still small, relatively new, and still rising. If you're into rap, I recommend checking them out. If you like Stray Kids, I recommend checking them out. But where are they today? Well, as of 2015, they're still very active, steadily building their catalogue and growing their fan base. They might not yet be at the level of BTS or Stray Kids, but they've carved out a niche as one of the most internationally minded rookie groups of their generation. And with every performance, they just seem to get sharper, their fan base gets louder, and their identity as a global group gets stronger. So that is the story of what was T1419 and now is TFN. The group aiming not just for K-pop success, but worldwide recognition. What do you think? Do you think they have what it takes to take it to the top? Did you already know about TFN? Are you new to the band? Are you going to check them out? Let me know. And if you've got any other K-pop or Asian pop groups you'd like me to look into, leave them in the comments so I can add them to my list and I can make a video on them next week. Thank you for watching.